to the point here. This video is about today's Apex update, which is the mid-season update. So obviously, there is the, obviously usual changes. The map rotation and the ranked split, obviously. But there is some massive buffs that you guys need to know about. And the main big one is every skirmisher is getting a class rework. As part of, everyone getting buffed lately, every class to be made useful, right? Skirmishers are next. And what they are adding is skirmishers are going to have a second shot of all their abilities, right? So Wraith is going to have double phase. Kind of like how Ballistics Tactical works right now. But alongside this, they're changing it so that just like how I believe it was Assault had it last, skirmishers will get healed and speed up on downs, I'm pretty sure. Now, I might be wrong about that, but there's also some extra, changes in here. Wraith is getting her old run back. And if you didn't know, she used to have the Naruto run, or if you've ever played a Sonic game, how Sonic runs, but more crouched over, right? There isn't really any of the creative things for a bit longer. They'll be back April 1st. But another change being brought to skirmishers is if your teammate is further away, right? And they're skirmisher, you'll be able to run towards them faster. So like say you have a Wraith a million miles away. If you're looking at her, you'll be able to run towards her faster. There's a collection event, it's a sword. Special to Newcastle, but not really. It's a universal one, it's a sword. But Newcastle gets some special animation with it. I'm not going to get it, so you'll probably just have to watch. One of the bigger YouTubers get it, and that. Alter, she's getting some buffs. She now has 2 charges of the Void Passage, which I believe is a tactical. Maximum depth, 30 meters, so that's not going to do much. Her ult's getting a bit of a buff, but mainly they're just messing around with her cooldowns and her perks. Nothing really big that is worth me reading it all out, right? Now, Ashe, her ult is getting an extra 30 seconds on cooldown, so that's going to be longer. But Horizon is going to be back stronger again, right? So, all of her upgrades basically got removed. And, well, the level 2 ones and the level 3 ones, or the original level 3 ones now, have been moved down, right? So they're going to be the blue, right? So I'll go here and I will show you. Right now, the ultimate cooldown and the attack cooldown are her purple perks, but they're going to be moved to the blue ones, right? And instead of them, you're going to get something called Conservation of Energy, where whenever her passive goes off, it gives you 25 shield. So say I go up here and I'm shooting someone. I hit the ground, I get an extra 25 shield back, which could be make or break in fights, especially with how used her tactical is. If I get beamed up here for 25 and I go down, boom, brah, And her other perk that's being added is Combat Reserve. So basically, she's going to get the Assault class perks. The passives. Just small enough to Loba. Pathfinder is interesting. So, as you might have noticed, for some reason they decided to nerf him. Really don't understand why. Everyone hated it the last time. So now, it's tactical. 30-second cooldown. they're adding a perk. I believe it's replacing this one, the purple one, the down and away. Rather than it being reset on a knock, it's 10 seconds off, so it'll be 20-second cooldown, which is better, but not the best, right? So obviously he's still going to be a bit odd, but once you have that, you're lovely. Rev is he's getting some new perks, nothing big. Wraith, her tactical and her alt are getting lower cooldowns by 5 seconds and 30 seconds, respectively. And they just buffed her perks. That's about it. So now, her cooldown one is going to make it 15-second cooldown, which is for Wraith is going to be insane. No real changes to the guns. You know, the SMGs, all of them have got an extra bullet per mag, which is good, but not too big. Nemesis getting a buff. Elstar is they got rid of reverse hipfire, and you might be asking, what is reverse hipfire? Well, reverse hipfire, and I might be wrong about this, I could be getting it confused with something else, is what I'm about to show you now, right? So, as you can see here, you have a big hipfire reticle, but as I shoot, it gets smaller. That is reverse hipfire, and what they're doing is they're getting rid of that so that the Elstar isn't as, I suppose, busted. Because right now, what you can do is, first shots, boom, like, you effectively don't have to aim down sights, and a lot of you don't really know this because you don't pay as much attention, which is obviously entirely okay. But when you're aiming down, you go a lot slower on your strafes, because otherwise you just have people zooming along hitting fucking tap strafe movement techniques and super glides and everything while aiming down. So you'd never really be able to get a good fight. So what they do in these games is they kind of slow it down so you're more conscious about aiming rather than just going and hitting movement techniques while ADSing for accuracy, right? And that is getting removed from the Elstar. So the Elstar might be a little bit less used, which is good for everyone. For the marksmen, 30-30 and G7, they're just getting a damage buff. I think it's like 1 damage. Yeah, and then headshot damage is increased by 2 on the... holy shit. If you headshot with ADS charged on the 30-30, so like, I'll show you what that looks like now. When these lines are fully, like if you see beside the 06, there's kind of 3 sectors, and as you see they fill up. That's going to go from doing 93 damage at full to 106. So say this dummy over here. Rather than that being a 3-tap, it's going to be closer to a 2-tap, unless they're wearing red. But obviously it's not going to be as good. And there's a P20 buff. Is something really weird. I don't know. Shotguns, nothing changed. But the pubs and ranked map rotation is going to be. So for pubs, you've got Kings Canyon, Stormpoint, and E-District. Which, my opinion, pretty mid. Same for ranked. I don't know why they've been separate in the thing. For ranked, there'll be no reset in rookie. They're changing the split reset. So so rather than being sent down 2 ranks, you're just going to be sent down the lowest division of your last split, right? So say you're plat, you're still going to be in plat at the end of the split. So obviously you're going to have to reach a minimum, but you're not going to be just sent back down to like bronze or whatever, which is good. But again, higher ranks is going to be kind of messed up. because now you're going to have people who don't drop out of Masters, which is good for the lower rank players, but not so much the higher rank players, because it's going to be much of a muchness. You know, I'm pretty sure that the prize, that's going to be grand, but you're going to have a lot more people who just stuck in Masters and have inflated Masters badge, which is good for them, like, but if you're a player like me, you can kind of tell by badges, right? If you played as long as I have, you know to be wary of Masters badges, because there was seasons where you didn't get any KP. I believe it was season 17 where it was at its worst, where you could reach Masters without shooting a gun. And I wish I was joking, but it did actually happen. I believe his Watson did it. He got so bored that he went and he did it with no armor, which is a massive kind of show of just how bad it was, and kind of really pushed Respawn. And nowadays, ranked is in a good spot where KP is still important, but it's not the be-all end-all, which is good, because that is the spot you want to have it in. You want to be rewarded for winning fights, and not just fucking told, oh, no, just camp all game, please, you know? But that is basically all that is of any importance in the patch notes. You know, there's obviously the LTM for April Fools. That's a given every year now, as far as I'm aware. And there's another LTM just to try out the new heirloom. It basically works like the Buster Sword, but it has a ranged attack if you ADS. So, thank you for watching this far. I hope you found this video useful. I know it's not the kind of videos I usually be making, or I will usually be making, but, you know, I just like to give a tiny, basically, Cliff Notes version of each update, regardless of if it gets views or not, because I'm not really pressed on that. You know, just, I don't really be using Twitter anymore, and that's where the majority of the patch notes are shown. And rather than waiting for, like, Gaming Merchant to read every single thing out, no hate to him, by the way. I have nothing but respect for him as a creator. Just, you know, some people just want a Cliff Notes version, and that is what I am giving to you here. But thank you for watching this far, if you did, and, you know, comment your opinions on the changes, and, you know, just Apex as a whole at the moment, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.